What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So the other day we did a off-season redo of the Phoenix Suns, and today we're going to be doing my beloved favorite team, the Portland Trailblazers. This was one of the most liked comments in the last video, and basically we're going to redo the Blazers off-season. Do I still decide to trade Damian Lillard away, or do we build around him? Regardless, today we're going to go back in time. We're going to see what would have been better for this Portland Trailblazers team going forward. Did they make the right decisions in real life? Of course, right now they're really bad, but that's part of the tanking / rebuilding process. But let's just get into this Portland Trailblazers redo today. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We are quickly approaching the trade deadline. A lot of content coming, so if you guys want to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, stick around, be greatly appreciated as we're on the road to 50,000 subs. But let's take a look at this Blazers roster, man, because obviously things are a lot different now. As we know, Damian Lillard is gone, Nurkic is gone. There's a lot of things that are different about this team. So we got to figure out, what should we still do? Should we still trade Damian Lillard away, but maybe for a different package? Maybe trade him to Miami instead? Whatever it may be, we're going to figure it out what the best way to go about things here is. Now, in my heart of all hearts, of course, you guys remember, I wanted to keep Dame and I wanted to build around him. Whether it was the right decision or not, that's what I wanted to happen this offseason. Of course, it did not. So do I still make that happen? We shall see. Let's just get straight into things. So, of course, the draft lottery, that is going to determine a lot for us. So we are actually resetting the lottery as well. The whole offseason is reset, so it does not matter. Let's just see what happens. I mean, if we can come out here, get number one, get Victor Wembanyama to start the video, obviously that'd be amazing. So whole reset of the offseason, including the lottery, and we are going to get number two. So instead of number one, we get number two, or instead of number three, we get number two. So, of course, that was projected to be Scoot Henderson anyway. Scoot has been up and down this year, I'll say that at the very least. Very inconsistent, but Dallas at number one. So once again, they're going to get Victor Wembanyama. That's what happened in the Suns video as well. So unless they pass on him, which I highly doubt it, would I love to have gotten number one, but unfortunately we did not. Of course, we could also choose to trade this number two overall pick to get Damian Lillard help. First and foremost, one thing I would love to do is fire Chauncey, but I don't think the timeline, well, let's see what the better candidates would be, because Chauncey Billups is not a good coach. I'm sorry, he's not. And I don't know. There's just something I don't think he's it. But there's not a lot of good options out here. Popovich coming to Portland's very unrealistic. Wes Unseld is out here, and he actually has decent ratings. But I'll keep Chauncey for this season. But past this season, he's a goner unless this team just does okay. So we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna fill out this coaching staff, and then we're gonna head to draft night. And we'll figure out, like, what is the best, thing to do with this number two overall pick. We have a full reset of this bad boy. So do we just go ahead and draft again? Do we trade Dame on draft night? We have a lot of different options we can look at. If I can find a shot doctor, I can go look at those options, but I can't find one anywhere. But I'll see you guys with the decisions we make. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. The way Prize Picks works is you choose between 2 to 6 players. It's you against projections. You face nobody else. Basically, they have all kinds of sports outside of just NBA. They got soccer, MMA, even got Call of Duty on here. But basically, you choose more on a projection. So you think Miles Bridges is going over 24.5, you click more on the projection. You think Kevin Huerter scoring less than 10.5 tonight, you click less on the projection. It's that simple. 2 players, 3 times your entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times your entry. If you want to sign for Prize Picks, use code Crushables. Link is down in the description below. They match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And the way I use Prize Picks is DGF's optimizer tool. Basically, it compares lines across multiple sports books. There's not really a good example on the board at the moment that I can show you. But basically, when you see the green, that usually means it's a good play. But okay, so let's look at this one, for instance. So Anthony Edwards right now, over 4 assists. Every single sports book is listing at 4.5. So basically, Prize Picks is discrepancy here. Click over on the projection because you're getting a discount by 0.5. And yesterday, using this optimizer tool, here are a couple slips I got done yesterday. So got 50 on this slip right here, and this was all from the optimizer tool. I know literally nothing about hockey, but all I got to do is look at a tool and place things in there. And then here's another one. It was Taco Tuesday, so one of the hockey goalies was discounted. We went under on Scoot, which is funny for this video. Braden Smith, less rebounds, and then Luis Rodriguez over, and Killian Hayes, less fantasy scores. If you want to sign up for DGF, their tools are also down in the description below. Yeah, go sign up, go check it out. Link is down in the description below. YouTube channel is down there as well for them. But thank you to Prize Picks and DGF for sponsoring today's video. So first and foremost, I think the first step is figuring out who is selling, who is rebuilding in this offseason. We're going to let 2K determine what we can do this offseason and maybe increase our chances. So obviously the Wizards, they have Porzingis still at this point. I wouldn't hate getting Porzingis on this team if we were still building around Dame, but obviously we had to figure out how we'd be able to do that. You know, the 76ers are contending, Bulls are buying. Nobody on the Chicago Bulls I'm dying to get. Boston's contending, Grizzlies are contending, Hawks are rebuilding. When it comes to Atlanta, they got a couple guys, but no one that really stands out to me that's going to help, you know, us win a championship. You got the Hornets who have LaMelo, but LaMelo and Dame's not really like the best fit in the world. Blair Markkanen is interesting as well. I wouldn't hate that. We got the Knicks with like RJ still, Randall Robinson, Lakers. They don't have anybody. Orlando rebuilding, Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. You got, of course, Mikal Bridges, who would be the guy that the Blazers supposedly tried to get. Now, obviously, in the past, I've gotten Mikal Bridges on Portland before, so I kind of want to be different today, so I don't really want to go that direction. Miles Turner, we got the Pelicans. We can go get CJ McCollum again. Totally kidding. And then, of course, there were some rumors about the Pelicans wanting Scoot. So if, you know, we could have gotten Zion, that would be cool, but they list him as untouchable at the moment. Would have done that, actually. I definitely would have considered that. The Pistons, really nobody. The Raptors, of course, are the team that you probably want to talk to. They obviously decided not to trade anybody, but now they've traded OG Anunoby and are probably looking to trade Siakam. And then the Spurs, yeah, it's getting to Slim Pickens, Thunder, Timberwolves. I mean, Anthony Edwards would be fun. But yeah, so basically, I feel like the only team we can realistically trade with is the Wizards and the Raptors. I think Siakam and Porzingis are like two guys I'm looking at, and I'm not sure either of them are worth the second overall pick, to be honest with you. So I think we may wait till after the draft to try to make a trade with them, which is not going to be easy to do. But we'll find it. We'll figure it out. So let's just jump in the draft and let's just see what happens. Let's draft our rookie first. So Wemby, of course, is going to go 1. Now I'm going to do something different today. Instead of drafting Scoot, who obviously would have been the talent to go get at this point, Brandon Miller would have been a great fit as well next to Damian Lillard. So I think in my heart of all heart today, we are going to keep Dame. And so we are going to commit to Brandon Miller, at least for now. So we're going to pass on Scoot Henderson. We're going to do exactly what the Hornets did and take Brandon Miller. So we're taking Brandon Miller at number 2 overall out of Alabama. He would be a great fit anyway. And then we also had a later pick as well. But with this pick, I actually want to do something different. Obviously, we can go ahead and draft somebody. But with this pick, I want to try to free up all my future picks. So we're going to go to the Chicago Bulls. We're going to talk about our pick. And let's see if they'd be considering like 23. I don't know if I can throw them anything else. But let's say maybe throw them like Nasir Little as well. So let's say it's, I guess we kind of need that salary. So let me try to keep Nasir Little out of it. Let's say it's Trendon Watford in our first round pick, or in this Knicks pick that we got from the Josh Hart trade for our pick back. That way we have all of our picks freed up for the future to go make bigger trades. Let's see what they say to that. They agree, so the Bulls are on the clock. Just like that, we have all of our picks freed up now. And now we can go ahead and draft. In Cason Wallace falls this far, that's actually kind of a steal. I'm taking him. He went in the first round in real life. So welcome to, he was a lottery pick, wasn't he? So Brandon Miller, number 2 overall. And then we free up all of our future picks by sending our first round pick to Chicago, which they took Jordan Walsh. And then we got Cason Wallace in round 2. I mean, that so far I'm off to a good start, I think. Player options, Jonathan Williams, I'm going to decline that. Qualifying offers, Matisse Thybulle, Cameron Reddish. I'm going to extend the offer on both of them just in case, but I'm not sure I'll bring either of them back. We'll just kind of see. So Jeremy Grant, I think obviously to start things off, he is a must re-sign. I think letting him go would be pretty insane. So I think we're going to go ahead and start this offseason with a Jeremy Grant sign. Now, obviously, Jeremy Grant got an absolute bag, which he probably would still at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and offer him the bag that he got, because it'd probably still be the case if that, you know, things went that way. So I'm signing Jeremy Grant to a contract. We're going to sign that, and then we don't have the ability to do anything else. So now the rest of the roster comes through trade. So we are going to figure out the best way to upgrade the roster, which is not going to be easy by any means, but we are going to find a way to get things done and make things happen. So we'll see how we can get things done. So I guess first and foremost, we need to fill out the bench a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start with most definitely resigning Matisse Thybulle. I'm going to have to resign him. And then we're also going to sign Josh Richardson if it allows me. Might have to sign Cameron Reddish back as well. I mean, I don't really have a ton of good options here as far as like bench pieces. Drew Eubanks, I don't really want back at all. Phoenix Suns already hate him as it is. But I'm going to sign Reddish back, who's been pretty solid with the Lakers. I don't know if he would have been okay on the Blazers, but I'm happy to have those guys. So we filled out the bench a little bit with some guys, but now it's time to figure out how we're going to fill out the rest of the roster, because right now this team is not contending around Damian Lillard. So we got to go get either Porzingis or someone or Siakam, whatever it may be. We got to find a way to make this team better. So I think the guy I am going to try to go for is Kristaps Porzingis. We get Siakam quite a bit. I could get him again today, and he probably would have been the more realistic option, but I think we definitely need Porzingis more than we need Siakam, to be honest with you. So the only thing I have a concern with is I don't know how I'm going to match his salary without Anthony Simons being in the trade, which it's going to suck to do. I think Anthony in Washington, though, would absolutely thrive. Instead of getting Jordan Poole, if you got Anthony Simons, I promise you it would have been way better. So first and foremost, Nurkic can be in the trade. Actually, might be able to get away with this without having to trade Anthony Simons. So Nasir Little could be in the trade as well. And then can I get, like, let's say Kevin Knox's salary is still here. We might be able to do this, actually. Keon Johnson. Okay, we could do it without trading any or Anthony Simons, which is awesome. So Nurkic, Nasir Little, Kevin Knox, and Keon Johnson. Now, Nurkic to the Wizards doesn't make a lot of sense for them, obviously. If I could find a way to make Nurkic, you know, go to a team that needs a center again, I would do it. We're not getting DeAndre Ayton this time, but I'm not really sure. I mean, other than Phoenix, which obviously they want to replace, I mean, I guess maybe the Pelicans are, you know, okay with taking Nurkic potentially. I don't know. We'll see if we can do something like this. I don't know if we'll be able to, but let's say Larry Nance is headed to Washington. This is gonna get complicated. So, is there anybody else? Maybe Primo is making $12 million for them. That's insane. Kyle Lewis. Okay, so maybe this. I don't know if 3-team trade is gonna work, but we'll try this. So, Nurkic, Nasir Little, Kevin Knox, Keon Johnson, and let's say we also trade a first-round pick to the Wizards. Which at this point, I think if you're Portland, you should probably protect your pick because there's no guarantee we're going to be good next year. So let's say it's Nurkic going to New Orleans and then a bunch of young pieces going to the Wizards, which they get quite a bit, not going to lie. I mean, most of these guys aren't like crazy good. But let's see what they say to this. They say the Pelicans don't want to take on the extra salary and the Wizards say no. I'm actually surprised they're saying no to this. This is quite a bit for Washington. So far, nothing. Okay, if we can't trade Nurkic, or if we can't send Nurkic to a third team, we might just go ahead and, or we could maybe even do this with the Clippers potentially. So let's say Marcus Morris is headed to the Wizards, and then we'll say you send like Anthony Gill back to the Clippers potentially. Okay, something like this, and then Nurkic is headed to the Clippers. So let's say it's this, and then top 10 protected pick. But let's say the Clippers send like a second or something to the Wizards. I don't know. Trying to make things work. The Clippers, you're asking me to give away a valuable asset. Really? A valuable asset? I don't see that as a valuable asset. Okay, we're not doing a third team. It's just going to get too complicated. So let's remove Anthony Gill. So all this for Porzingis. They agree. We get it done. So I tried to trade Nurkic somewhere else because I think it would have made a lot more sense somewhere else. But Porzingis in Portland is going to help out a ton. 100% is going to help out. So now we have an interesting rotation of obviously Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Josh Richardson, Casey Wallace, who got in the draft, Brandon Miller, Thibault, Reddish. We have Jeremy Grant, Jabari Walker, and then we don't have really a backup 5. We might have to sign Eubanks back, which I don't ideally like, but to have his salary, I wouldn't hate it. I'm going to go ahead and re-sign Drew Eubanks to be our backup 5 for now. But at the trade deadline, believe me when I tell you, we are going to try to make more changes here. So that will be our offseason. We get Porzingis, we got Jeremy Grant back, we got Simons, we draft Brandon Miller. So pretty solid. It's kind of funky, but I like it. I actually kind of like this team a little bit. So we'll see how things go. We're definitely not done by any means. At the deadline, we got to make some more moves. This team is not locked in whatsoever. But Dame, I think this is probably a good supporting cast to have. I think we're at the very least a playoff team, which is all you can really ask for. So let's get straight into next season. And let's see what this is about to look like. I'm actually kind of hyped about this. Actually, I think I just loaded the wrong draft class, which I definitely did. So let me fix that, and we'll look at the rotation together. We're actually at 3.5 perimeter centric, which we will absolutely take. But we have Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Brandon Miller, Jeremy Grant, Kristaps Porzingis with Shaedon Sharpe, Drew Eubanks, Cameron Reddish, and Matisse Thybulle and Josh Richardson all off the bench. Honestly, really solid team. I really like it. I'm hoping things go the way we expect them to. We'll definitely probably stop at the deadline. Anthony Simons, if we're keeping Dame, might be moved eventually. We're going to send Casey Wallace to the Rip City Remix, and we'll also do the same thing with Jabari Walker. And that will be what we decide to do this season. So we'll see how things go. I will more than likely see you at the trade deadline to see how this team is doing. But I feel decent about it. I kind of like it. We'll see how it goes. Power can land us 14th. Hopefully we are a playoff team in the West, and hopefully we can make another big move at the deadline. So we are, in fact, stopped at the trade deadline as we are currently the 4th seed in the West. Things are going decently well at the moment, which is awesome. And we have the assets to pull off another big trade if we feel the need to. So that is more than likely what we're going to be doing here. We're going to make a big trade, I think. I have an idea of who I want to bring in. This is going to be our way of going all in for Damian Lillard. We've done a lot of things to make things look good at the moment. But first and foremost, the main thing I want to do is I want to get a better backup 5. I want a better backup 5. And the first team we're going to talk to about that is Andre Drummond on the Bulls. Andre Drummond, just an absolute rebounding monster off the board, off the bench. So, and he's a much better backup 5 than Eubanks. I mean, not by too much, but I am going to try to see if they would be willing to take like a second for Andre Drummond. They agree. That was easy. So we got Andre Drummond. That's going to just be a little bit of an upgrade. So Drummond's going to be our new backup 5 in Portland. And the other guy we are looking at here at the deadline, which is going to be, interesting enough, the Clippers. They are selling at the moment. I kind of want to see if we can bring in Paul George or Kawhi. Paul George is on an expiring contract. This would be our way of going all in. And the way we do this is we talk to the Clippers about Paul George. So if the Clippers, for whatever reason, decide to blow it up now, if we trade for Paul George, obviously our window becomes very, very like win now. Like we got to win now. So this would require Anthony Simons being in the trade, which would suck, but I think this would be exactly what you'd need. If you're Portland, I think you got to do this. So $15 million more is needed in this trade. We're going to have to include like maybe like Cameron Reddish. Do we even have enough salary to get there? We may not have enough now that I think about it. And we'd have to include like Thibault, Richardson. So this would gut our depth quite a bit if we did this, which would absolutely suck. But I mean, if you're getting Paul George, I think you got to consider it. So I'm going to trade Josh Richardson, and then I guess they would maybe send us some players back, and then I guess Thibault would have to be in the trade. So let's see if we can get like some decent role players in return. So let's say maybe we get Brandon Boston out of them potentially. I don't know if we'll be able to, but I'll try. And then Preston is not the most ideal ideal player in the world, but we might be able to do something with Brandon Boston to make him better. So Simons, Reddish, Josh Richardson, Matisse Thybulle for Paul George, Brandon Boston also in the trade, and then we trade our 2026 unprotected first-round pick for Paul George. This would be our way of going all in for Damian Lillard, and they are going to agree we get Paul George. So Paul George is now, and he gets to play, funny enough, he gets to play with Brandon Miller, who obviously, worships Paul George. So that's kind of fun. So Paul George, we can move him to the 3, but I think I'm going to keep him at the 2. We have Paul George with Brandon Miller, Jeremy Grant, Porzingis. Like, this is a beauty. This is a roster that probably Portland never would have been able to assemble, but I still feel they actually want to start Shaedon Sharpe, which I'm actually not opposed to that. So let's move Paul George to the 3 then instead, and we'll have Shaedon Sharpe start. So Dame, Shaedon Sharpe, Paul George, Jeremy Grant, Porzingis, Drummond with Brandon Miller off the bench, Brandon Boston, and Aaron Hall. So our bench obviously took a massive hit, which I figured would be the case. But one thing we can do with Brandon Boston is he actually goes up if you move him to the 3, which obviously we'll do that for now just because we need a better overall. And then Aaron Holiday is our backup point guard at the moment. I mean, if we can get somebody better, that'd be great, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's see. So point guards, Lonnie Walker is going to be here, but I doubt he'll sign. Like, you got like Corey Joseph. I mean, he'll sign a minimum. So, you know what? We'll sign Corey Joseph. He'll be an upgrade from, I guess, Aaron Holiday. So bench took a massive hit, but getting Paul George, I think, is going to make things worth it. So here we go. We'll see if this team can go win a championship. 29-21 at the moment. We'll see how much better Paul George makes us. So at the end of year 1, Joel Embiid wins MVP. Wembanyama on the Mavericks is a Rookie of the Year. Jordan Poole, 6th man. Embiid, Defensive Player. Mobley, Most Improved. And Damian Lillard, Clutch Player of the Year, which is nice. Taylor Jenkins, Coach of the Year. Alexander Panel, Executive. So All-NBA first team, you got Joel Embiid, John Morant, Luka, Jokic, Giannis. All-NBA second team, I'm wondering if we get Dame on here. We do. Damian Lillard makes an All-NBA third team, which is great. Offensive first team, and all-defensive second team, and then all-rookie first team. Brandon Miller makes the all-rookie second team, averaging 12 points. It was actually pretty efficient as well, so which is nice. But we finished as the third seed in the West. We get to play the team that obviously won a championship last year in the Denver Nuggets. But yeah, 26 from Dame, 21 Paul George, and then 18 from Porzingis, 14.5 from Jeremy Grant, and then 12.5 from Shaedon Sharpe, 12 from Brandon Miller. Now, obviously, one thing we need to take note of is this team would have never have happened in real life because there's no way Jody Allen, the Portland Trailblazers' current owner, because of her brother dying, would have ever went into the tax for Damian Lillard. So, yeah, this would definitely be a tax-paying team, and there's no way that Jody would have allowed this. So this never would have happened, but it was just, it's my dreams, I guess. And it's a little different from Portland videos I've done in the past. around Dame. And this could be our last video ever talking about Damian Lillard on the Blazers, because obviously he's not on the team anymore. But get to play the Nuggets in round 1. They got Nikola Jokic, Gordon, Porter, Bruce Brown, Jamal Murray. So still same team in Denver. Let's see if we can beat them. Somebody current round against the Denver Nuggets, and they are going to jump up 2-1 on us. But can we even it up? We do. So we're not done just yet. We got to win a pivotal game 5. Obviously, beating the Blazers not going to be, or beating the Nuggets is not going to be easy. So we knew this would be tough, but let's even come out here and beat them in this game 5. It's going to be a pivotal win if we can get it. We made things close for a second, but Denver is going to run away with it. Now, they've beaten us at home every time, and then we've won at their home every time. So I wonder if that trend continues here. And so far, it's looking decent for a win here on the road. So the road team has won, I think, every single game. So 126-99. And then one thing we'll do for this game 7 is we'll shrink this to an 8-man rotation. We know our depth is cooked anyway, so might as well not have Corey Joseph playing. So let's just go straight 8-man rotation, game 7 in Portland to get to round 2. Obviously, we went all in, so getting eliminated round 1 would be very unfortunate, but it's looking like that may happen. We're down 8. We need a huge run to get things close here, and I think we're cooked. So we are going to lose, unfortunately. So year number 1 does not go our way. We match up against a very good Denver team. Damian Lillard did all that he could, but we get bounced in round 1. Does not feel great whatsoever, but that is my luck, and we know it. So 76ers, Warriors, I think the main thing we need to focus on is obviously re-signing Paul George and Porzingis. That's going to cost a lot of money, which is why I said this would never happen. Our pick is going to the Wizards from the Porzingis trade. Staff signing, we got Chauncey Billups. I think I'm going to fire him. I think it's in our best interest to go get a better head coach. So that starts with maybe Joe Mazzulla. So we'll sign Joe Mazzulla to be our head coach in Portland. That's a good start, I think, to this offseason. And then we can go ahead and get a different guard guru, and we should be pretty ecstatic about all that. So now we can go straight to player options and basically re-sign guys and get a 9th bench piece. That's really what we need to do. So Sharp, Jabari Walker, Casey Wallace. I mean, potentially these guys, one of these 2 guys could be bench pieces next year. Paul George, of course, declines. No surprise there. But free agency, yeah, a lot of money is going to be thrown at Paul George, which Porzingis, he has an offer from the Pistons, and Paul George has no offer, so we don't really have to overpay for Paul George. But Porzingis, on the other hand, we might have to send a lot of money his way because we don't want to lose him to the Pistons. So signing Paul George and Porzingis back again, the new CBA, this team would be like really tough to obviously keep together. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, we're playing in the 2K world. So Brandon Miller, Brandon Boston, Jabari Walker, Jeremy Grant, Porzingis. So we need Drummond. Oh, Drummond as well. We can't re-sign him though, I don't think. Reggie Bullock, Osman. First, we're gonna start with Luke Kennard. Wait, do we have a good backup too? I think we might. No, we don't. We have Wallace, who might be capable of playing it, but we'll see. I'm gonna sign Luke Kennard still. So sign Luke Kennard. I would love to get Drummond back, but I don't know if it's gonna allow me to. Let's see. Is he still out here? He is. We cannot sign him. So I think we're gonna maybe wait till day 12 to try to get him back. I don't know if we'll be able to get him still, but I'm gonna try it anyway. The day 12 or day 11. All right, let's see if he's still out here. He's still here. He may sign that. He's not saying yes at the moment. Affordable centers. Ooh, it's pretty rough pickings out here. All right, day 12. We'll see what centers are available. So obviously, I mean, hard to see it wouldn't be too bad either. He might actually sign this. He actually is willing to sign that potentially. Drummond, we could probably get back as well. But if we can get Hardenstein, that's solid. We'll get Hardenstein on a minimum. We'll take that. Player progression. I had a feeling, you know, Jeremy Grant goes down, Dame goes down, Paul George doesn't, which is nice. And then Jabari Walker. He wanted to say Jarris Walker. Casey Wallace, Jason Preston. So these guys are going up, which is great. We definitely need them for depth. But I think we're going into next season feeling pretty confident about our chances of being a contender again. And this team, it needs to get it together, and we need to go make things happen. So Barry's going to land us 21st overall. Under Joe Mazzulla, which I'm pretty surprised by. But that's just kind of the case right now. I guess I'll move it to 7 seconds, and we'll see how this team does. But it'll be Dame, Shaedon Sharpe, Paul George, Jeremy Grant, Porzingis, Brandon Miller, Isaiah Hardenstein, Luke Kennard, and then Brandon Boston, Jabari Walker. So I feel pretty solid about this team. We'll see how things go. Hopefully the season goes as I expect it to. We need to be a contender in the West, and hopefully that will be the case. So at the end of year number 2, this was a very competitive Western Conference because although we finished over 500, we actually made it into the play-in as the 8th seed, which is pretty wild. But look at the player stats. You had 27 from Damian Lillard, 17 for Paul George, 16 from Porzingis, 15, 14, 13. There's a lot of mouths to feed here, which is why maybe things aren't clicking as much as they should be. But we went ahead and had Shaedon Sharpe come off the bench, which they're actually starting him again and having Paul George come off the bench. I guess if that's what they want to do for these playoffs or for this play-in game, we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and simcast this play-in game. We got to obviously win to not get eliminated in the play-in. Now, we don't get eliminated here, but I would rather avoid having to avoid another elimination game, and we do beat them 142 to 121. And now we get the Lakers instead of the Nuggets, who beat us last year. So the Lakers, they have Kuzma instead of LeBron, so they don't have obviously LeBron anymore. Game 1 goes to us, 125 to 116. They even it up. Game 3 goes to them. Okay, game 4 is gonna be a big must win game. All right, so game 4 we win. Game 5 we're down 3-2. So we might get eliminated round 1 again. Man, that would really suck, actually. So let's see if we can come out here and win this game to force a game 7 back to LA, which we do, 101 to 122. Our lives are absolutely on the line here. Game 7. They want to give less minutes to Paul George, give more minutes to Luke Kennard. I can't listen to that advice. Let's just go ahead and run it. So game 7 in LA. Can we please not lose here? And it's looking like, okay, we take the lead for a second, but they take it back. Got a close one down the stretch, and we are looking like we might be able to take care of business potentially. Man, it's gonna be close. We got to hang on to the lead. We have a nice little lead, and we are going to get out of round 1. W. Damian Lillard with 48 points to get it done. And now we get the Golden State Warriors, who have Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Kuminga, Looney, Jordan Poole is still there. So it's gonna be a tough one. Here goes nothing. Game 1, 1-0, beat them by 4. Game 2, 2-0. So far, so good. 2-1. Do we allow them to even it up? We do not. 3-1, and we beat them in 5. Let's go. Win the Western Conference Finals. Okay. Now we get the team that didn't beat. Actually, Denver lost to Utah. Now we get the Jazz, who have Kobe White. LeBron James went to Utah. I don't know why he always goes there. It's like Utah always gets someone. They used to get Kyrie all the time. They want to start Shaedon Sharpe again, I guess. I mean, game 1, 1-0 goes to us. Game 2, 2-0. And we are going to cook the Jazz, which is nice, unless they come back, which is possible. No, we beat them in 5. We're in the finals. Let's go. Okay, now we get the Boston Celtics. Tatum just came off averaging 46 points per game in the conference finals. All right, so we got Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams. So they keep Marcus Smart, Robert Williams in this situation. It's going to be a tough one, but I believe in the ability to come out here and win it potentially. So here goes nothing. Game 1, 1-0 goes to Boston. We lose by 9. Game 2, we even it up. Game 3, 2-1. All we got to do is take care of both games at home, and we're in a really good position. And we do just that. We got to close them out in 5, and we win a championship. We get it done. Let's go, baby. We won a championship with Damian Lillard. We got him a ring in Portland. This was a very interesting roster we threw together. Obviously, would have never happened in real life, but I feel good about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a little bit of a fun one. I don't ever usually get Porzingis or Paul George, so it was a little bit different than what I usually do. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Crushables. Comment down below if you guys want to see me do another off-season redo of a different team. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.